Hello, it's Monday. It's Get Out There Girls, and she's going to do most of the talking tonight.
Because poor Michelle, her voice is not all here today, so I will be doing most of the talking, but
we have a good show, I think. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. We have Luke Doucet on the show today, who's right here. Say hi, Luke.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
So he's a musician, amazing runner, and also avid cyclist. So he's going to share about his training tips and how he stays fit while on the road. But first, we're going to start off with our weekend in review. And some exciting things did happen to this weekend.
Yeah. So Germany took on Argentina in the World Cup final. And as most of us, well, pretty much all of us probably know, that Germany defeated Argentina 1-0,
Really?
thanks to Mario Götze, who scored during extra time. And this is their fourth world title. Their first world title as a unified country, which is really exciting. And I'm sure it's a moment that will be remembered for a very long time.
And you're German, so this
I'm
is
German, so
special to you.
It was a very special day for me. So.
Well, this was kind of special for me. Dominika Yamniki, I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm sorry if I'm not. But she's a fellow HoneyMax sponsored athlete, and she won gold on Saturday at the ITU Pan Am Cup race that happened here in Toronto. So I was, oh, sorry. Wrong camera. Sorry. So that was exciting for both of us,
yeah,
because
definitely.
we're both sponsored by HoneyMax, and I was pretty happy for HoneyMax in general that they got a big win like that. And so what else happened?
So this weekend was a lot of preparation for the Cascade Classic, which I'm going to next week. It is an event that takes place in Redmond, Oregon, and it is, for 35 years, it's been mainly an all-pro event, but this is the first time they're actually going to have an amateur event. So I'm going to be competing in that. So I've just been doing a lot of preparation for that, and next week when I come back, I hopefully will have some good updates for you and some pictures and some podiums.
Did you want to talk about?
Yeah. So a few weeks back, I mentioned that I was competing in the Canadian National Championships, and if you see the girl who has her hands up in the air in the black and orange, we had Amber Pierce, pro cyclist from Optum, on the show a few weeks ago, and that is her teammate. She actually came in first in all three events. There was a time trial, a road race, and a crit, and she won first in every single one of them. So that was really amazing to actually get to ride beside her for a little while. It didn't really last that long. So. And I just wanted to show a couple clips. The first one, it was my very first time doing a time trial on my new Trinity road bike, or time trial bike, sorry.
Time trial bike.
So I just wanted to show, this was me starting off, first time being in one of these little platforms where they hold you up and then they let you off. So that was that was a time trial, first time, and it was a really amazing experience. And the second one is for the road race. My goal was to finish, which I did. So this is just me at the very end and finishing strong.
Into the finish line, right?
Yeah, coming into the finish line and seeing that I was this strong coming into it, I think I maybe could have pushed a little bit harder.
Yeah, that's a bit of a push there.
So that's just a recap of what's been going on with me lately. So, Michelle.
So my weekend was kind of bizarre. It was the only way to explain my weekend is with pictures, because my voice won't even be able to carry on. But I have created a new segment called "It Didn't Happen Unless You Instagrammed It," because so much happened, and Instagram is flooded with all of the interesting things that happen to people. So many of my friends did races they never thought they'd ever do before. We had a Five Peaks Trail Series race on Saturday. That was a 6K or almost 13K. One of the gnarliest technical trails I've ever done, and a lot of other people have ever done. And then on Sunday and Saturday and Sunday there was the North Face Trail Challenge. up at Blue Mountain. And then, of course, we also had the Toronto Tri Festival. So I had friends and people just who I know participating in all 3 events. I personally started the MTR Off-Road Challenge, where it was a competition. Well, it was more of a contest where you had to enter both trail races, the 5 Peaks and the North Face. By the end of Saturday, I had renamed the challenge to the MTR Massacre because there was lots of blood, swollen ankles. 2 people did not finish the Saturday race and didn't start the Sunday. And there's a couple, actually, there's 3 people that didn't start the Sunday race. No, sorry, 4, because I was one of them. So it was, maybe I'm going to rethink my contests in the future. But the one thing I'm happy to say is that everybody challenged themselves. Everybody did something amazing. And even though it was kind of sad because there are some injuries that are going to keep people from training for the next couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, but nonetheless, everyone was smiling and happy and really happy, just really happy to be part of the whole race scene this weekend. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite Instagram highlights. And this isn't, I think I'm going to keep this segment. I'm going to keep it. It didn't happen unless you Instagram it. So I'm just going to blow through these. Some of these people I actually know, and some of these people I do not know. So there's my friend Jessica and my friend Mike and his wife Allison at the 5 Peaks. You hashtag, follow the hashtag Get Off the Road. You'll see all kinds of other funny pictures on Instagram. On the left was me and my epic selfie with my 5 Peaks crew. A visitor from New Brunswick, Paul, and my friend Andrew Chalk. This guy, Whiskey Jack 13, I don't know who he is, but he has a really cool name, and he finished his first 50-miler. We've got more Andrew Chalk. I think he was just like everywhere this weekend. So ECSON was the official North Face hashtag. My friend Eat, Spin, Run, Repeat, and her friend up on the podium. My friend Claire, who was on the show a couple weeks ago, got her, she was, I think, first in her age group up at the North Face, and she was 9th overall for both races, so it was kind of a great accomplishment for her. Here's some carnage. So we have Jeff Goslin, who's sending us his recovery pic. That's my friend who's in the medic tent, and my other friend Peter, also spending 2 days in the medic tent this weekend. Not very great. And now here's where I want to cry. So Linz McKay, I don't know who you are, but I hate you, and I'm extremely jealous because I spent a good portion of my weekend stalking Simon Whitfield and didn't get anywhere. I didn't find him. I hung out at his sup board sponsorship tent, and I got nowhere. So she got to meet him, so congratulations, Linz McKay, and I'm completely jealous. Then there was Atru World captured before the swim event, and Pagoro got a bunch of, he was a volunteer, so he got loads of great pictures. Just to finish this off, one of the favorite highlights of my weekend was meeting Ian McNairn. I think everybody should follow this guy. He's from Calgary. He's super young, super motivated. He's involved with kidsrun.ca. He writes for the Get Out There magazine. He's sponsored by Stoked Oats and Team of Canada, and he's doing amazing things with kids in the community, and also he suffers from diabetes, and he teaches people how to run and participate in endurance sports having that disorder, or that illness. So I really was happy. I think actually it was better. I felt better after meeting Ian McNairn. I was like, who are you, Simon Whitfield? I don't even know you. So anyway, so that was my weekend in pictures. So I hope you all enjoyed the slideshow.
How's the voice?
It's gonna be like this for
a little squeaky.
We'll see how long I can squeak this out. So now we're gonna get to our guest, who is
patiently waiting
for our long schizophrenic slideshow. So okay, all I want to say first, Luke, and I do have more pictures, which I think you're gonna actually like these pictures, Luke. So first, I want to discuss that most people don't realize how much music and cycling and running, they all have so much in common. A lot of my favorite bands, a lot of my favorite musicians are great, accomplished athletes. So I actually made a slideshow for this, even though this was supposed to stop me from talking so much.
But you won't stop
I
talking.
won't,
So.
but I haven't talked for 3 days. I felt like I was in an ashram. So here is a fun fact. So ABBA, he wrote this song, "Take a Chance on Me," and that was written by Bjorn while he was out on a run. I believe, I don't know if this is actually a true fact, but I believe they're the fittest rock band in history. And I'm pretty sure they traveled with fitness equipment while on tour. I can't verify that fact, but I'm almost positive it's true. Fun fact, Stuart Murdoch, oh shoot, I spelled his name wrong, ran a sub-3-hour marathon back in the 80s, as you can see. He idolized the sports and wanted to be an athlete. He wrote Stars of Track and Field and The Loneliness of the Middle Distance Runner. And if we had to race against each other, we would tie in the marathon race at this moment. Another fun fact, Bruce Dickinson, from lead singer of the Iron Maiden, is also a great runner. Many songs are actually running inspired. The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner is inspired by Alan Stilto's novella. And then finally, last fun fact is Kraftwerk are avid cyclists, and their entire album is called Tour de France and written about the Tour de France, and they used actual sounds of bike parts moving as their bass tracks. So just a couple of fun facts, and now, what did you think? What did you think of my funny fun facts show? Did you know all those fun facts?
No, I did not, actually.
No. Well, there you go. I taught you something.
Yeah.
I can verify if that is, in fact, the fittest band in the world. But here is Luke Doucet, and he's a Canadian singer, songwriter, and guitarist. He's written and performed solo and is now with the rock folk band called White Horse, and he's one of my favorite artists. He is an amazing runner. I've had the chance to run with him once or twice, and we bumped into each other once. What else? Oh, yeah, I wanted to say this. He was nominated for a Juno Award in the Adult Alternative Album of the Year, both in 2006 and 2011. I think this is pretty impressive that you were nominated, Luke, but more impressive is you lost to Neil Young both times. So I think that's kind of a good accomplishment.
Yeah, and I don't think Neil Young can run.
No, he can't. I'd like to see that. So yeah, exactly. You have running on him. So right now, currently, he has 6 marathons under his belt, and we're going to talk about. We're just going to get right into it, I guess. Do you want to ask him?
Yeah. So my first question for you is, what has been your favorite race of all time that you've done?
Well, I think that maybe because I haven't done that many. I mean, I've only done, 6 marathons and probably a few more halves and only just a couple of 10Ks. So I haven't had that many races. So they're all kind of special because the first one's really special. Oh my God, I ran a marathon. That's really special. And then the fastest one is really special, but every marathon I've ever done has been my fastest one. So they all feel like they've been huge accomplishments. I guess most recently I ran in Indianapolis in April, and that was the Carmel Marathon, and I sort of accomplished the PB that I was hoping for. So that was, right now I feel the best about that. But
and what was that PB? What was your personal best so far?
2:48. Yeah.
Wow.
2:48.
Yeah, it was an amazing day. But I mean, as you guys both know, like the training for these things is so intense that they're all really emotional. They have to be, like, just by definition. You work so hard, and I ran Boston in 13, the year of the bombs, so to speak. So how can that not have been an incredibly memorable, for better or for worse, day?
Yeah.
Obviously, I wasn't affected the way some people were affected, in the most horrifying way. But for me, that day was really beautiful, and it was a gorgeous day to run, and I had a great race that day, and my family was there, and it was a beautiful day in Boston, and people in Boston are so fantastic. There's so much support. So yeah, I know it's a simple question. Which one was my favorite? I guess the straight answer is I don't really have one. You know, I suppose I could cite the Oakville Half Marathon last year, when I ran a 1:18 half, which for me was like 4 minutes faster than my previous PR, and I did it without a watch, and I just found the fastest looking guy, and I hung on to him, and I figured I was going to hit the wall halfway because I ran out way faster than I ever had, and I survived. So I just feel like every event has a story, and there may come a time when I have 100 races under my belt when they won't all mean so much. But at this point, each one has meant a lot to me because they all have something. I'm just not that experienced, you know.
Yeah. Have any of these marathons that you've done, or any of your running experiences, influenced any of your songs that you've written?
Oh yeah, tons. In fact, I would say that if you listened closely to tempos on certainly the last two White Horse records, and possibly even my last solo record, some of the tempos are really consistent. And I mean, I'd like to think that's just accidental, but I think realistically it probably has a lot to do with the fact that I spend a lot of time running. I don't run with music. It confuses me because running is so musical and it's rhythmic, and I find that imposing an outside rhythm onto that process is just more than my simple brain can handle. Like, I get confused and I trip, and like I just can't do it. But I do enjoy it. Sometimes if I feel like my cadence is too slow, like if my pace is too slow, or if my gait is too long, I'll imagine songs that have 118 or 180 beats per minute, because for a long time we've all heard people say that's the optimum sort of number of paces to take. And songs like Don Henley's Boys of Summer, that's a classic example of a song that's 180 beats a minute. So I'll get that song in my head, and it turns out I don't hate that song. Some people hate that song, and I like it. And so, you know, I'll get a certain amount out of that. But I've written a few songs. I've written a lot of music running, and I don't mean that I come home from a run and I have a full song. I just mean that I'll hear the same melody in my head for 3 months. And maybe only just for 10 minutes or for 20 minutes or for half an hour of every time I go out running. That melody comes back into my head. And eventually I have to sit down and write it and finish it. But I would say that a lot of the melodies and the grooves that I have used in the last 5 years absolutely have been inspired by the rhythm that exists inherently in running.
Isn't one of your songs written about you and your wife when she came to see you at your marathon, I think in Ireland?
Well, the marathon was actually, I was training in Ireland. I was on tour with Blue Rodeo, and the 2 weeks leading up to the marathon, I was in Ireland. So I was doing my final couple weeks of training, and I had a bad injury in my left foot, a Morton's neuroma, that I hadn't had properly diagnosed. So I was really worried. I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to run. And the race itself ended up being, it was in Devon, it was in the southwest of England near Cornwall. And yeah, Melissa was in Australia. She was playing with Sarah McLachlan at the time. Melissa's my wife, and she had like 5 days off between this Australian tour, and then she had to go to Abu Dhabi with Sarah because they were going to go play the Formula One, like some big car race thing, where they actually ended up playing with Prince. Like, they had some hilarious stories from that show. I guess they all, well, this is a different story, but they were jet lagged like crazy. They played their show, and then they went to sleep, and then the next day their tour manager called. The tour manager, when they picked them up in the car to drive them to the airport, said, well, Prince was looking for you guys after the show because he wanted to party, but I figured you guys were tired, and so I didn't wake you up. They were like, no! Like, always party with Prince. But so anyway, so she had 5 days off between Australia and Abu Dhabi, and she had to be in Vancouver for a rehearsal. Anyway, she flew directly from Sydney to London and then took the train to Cornwall, met me at the finish line of my very first ever marathon that I was terrified to run. And then she was in England for 36 hours and then flew all the way back to Vancouver for a rehearsal and all the way back to the Middle East for a show. So it's like ridiculous. And yes, I did write a song about that.
That's amazing. I actually have heard this. I've obviously listened to the song a lot, so now I know a little bit more about the background. I'll probably listen to it a bit differently. So I guess as a runner, this is just a question I just popped in out of my head. You probably, as a musician and runner, you probably don't listen to music when you run. I mean, I've seen you run past me a few times. I'd never see earphones in. You probably just sing to yourself, right? Or else you're making music.
Yeah, it's like my whole body is plays music while I run. And honestly, the drummer in my body is my teeth. I'm always sort of somehow making rhythms with my teeth, which I'm sure is terrible for the enamel on my.
Yeah, your dentist might not like that.
Yeah, maybe not. But yeah, and then so I'm always I constantly have music in my head. It's not always good music either. That's the terrible thing.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever written a song and then got home and said, "Damn it, I don't remember what that song is"?
Well, like I said before, I don't really write full songs when I'm running. It's more just a melody, and I tend not to think about it too much because I always have music in my head. When it's useful to me, it's times when the same melody keeps coming back around again and again and again, and at that point I don't have to remember it. It just happens involuntarily, and those are the things that I find I keep in.
So another question I wanted to ask. So I know for myself, one of the biggest things that I love I'm a cyclist, and what I love about cycling is I use it as my stress relief. I use it to kind of decompress and to kind of get all the stresses out of my day out. Do you use running for that as well? Or I know you're writing music as you're running along, but do you ever use it as a way of decompressing from your day or just kind of dealing with the stresses of being on tour?
Yeah. Yeah, I really do. Absolutely. I'm not. It provides me with that, whether that's my goal or not. Like sometimes my goal is not to decompress. My goal is to train, and my goal is to, I don't know. Like I'm on a schedule, as I know you both are. Like this is my schedule this week, and I've got to hit 130 kilometers this week because that's what I'm at week 7 in my training block, and that's what I got to do. So sometimes that's my actual motivation for running. But I always come back from running feeling better and treating people better. I mean, Melissa, my wife, will often actually send me running. She'll just be like, "You're an asshole today. Go run." And okay, sorry, guilty as charged, and I'll go run. And I always come back a better person. And that was one of the unintended consequences of running. I knew it was going to be good for my head. I didn't actually know the degree to which it was going to be good for my head.
Yeah, that's the same. Like, I was kind of imagining, because every time I've talked to you, you're either in the studio or you're always out of town and on a really crazy busy schedule. So, and you must be cooped up quite a bit too with other people. So there is, obviously, you're going to get some release. But yeah, I think I would feel the same. It's a schedule for me. So when people ask me what motivates you, it's like my coach told me I had to do it. So
yeah.
I don't know.
And how do you keep up with this? Like, how do you get your training in when you're on this crazy schedule, when you're traveling? Like, how do you manage to stay on that schedule?
Well, there are times when it's really, really hard, and those times are probably fairly predictable. It's like there I am stuck in a motel on the side of the highway somewhere in Kansas, in the middle of nowhere, and I look out the window of my hotel room and I see freeways, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And I'll just go run, and I'll find a little country road, or I'll find I just go. And those are the hard days. Like if we've been driving all day and the weather sucks and I don't know where I am. I mean that's not fun. I go alone, and it's But fortunately, I don't find that there are many of those days. Mostly, what it is like, all right, we're on the road and we're going to leave at 10 in the morning, and we're going to arrive in Dallas at 3 in the afternoon, and our sound check's at 5. I have 2 hours. And I just throw on my shorts and my shoes, and I spend a lot of time on the internet looking at maps. Like, I'm a map junkie. I study maps constantly. So I really enjoy the fact that I'm going to go and explore the city that I'm visiting. And, most days carving out an hour and a half to do that, it's actually a realistic proposition. We have a small crew that tours with us, and they set up our gear. So from the time our tour bus pulls up to the venue until I have to be on stage for sound check, I usually have a couple hours. And it's kind of blocked into the day, not for the sake of running, but just because it takes a couple hours to set up our stage. And that's my time. And it's usually between sort of 3 and 5. So in a lot of, like in the wintertime, between 3 and 5 is a great time to run because the sun is just about to set. It's kind of a nice time.
Well, as a rock star, you would never consider putting it on your rider that a treadmill must be placed in your hotel room at every stop just in case of a rainstorm or snowstorm.
Yeah. Well, I think if I had to run on a treadmill more than once every 6 months, I would just quit running.
I'm kidding.
And I don't mind running in the snow. I mean, you guys know what the winter was like in Toronto this year.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it was really, really challenging. But I ran outdoors, 13 out of 14 days over the course of most 2-week periods. I was out, and I was logging 120, 130, 140 kilometers a week at the peak of it. I mean, you guys know it was tough. It sucked. Sometimes it sucked, but whatever.
Again, as a musician, why wouldn't you just book your tour in the southern states? And you have these kinds of advantages, LUKE DOUCET. I think you need a new manager.
Well, we don't. I don't know if we always do. I mean, we tour in the wintertime in Canada, strangely, and you think, why would you want to do that? But we do that because we also want to tour Canada again in the summer so we can play festivals.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You've got to leave as much time in between your festival schedule and your regular concert touring schedule so that people will come and see you again the same year.
Definitely. So moving on to nutrition, I know when I am traveling for races, I have all these goals of I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to bring snacks, and all that goes to the shit. And I end up eating fast food or forgetting to eat or overeating. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I've been on the road for 20 years now, and with the exception of 1996 when my daughter was born, I took most of that year off the road. So I've gotten so accustomed to eating a certain way. That's one thing. I've gotten really, I just don't eat fast food. I mean, I haven't had a burger or a piece of fried chicken or pizza in a long time. I mean, having said that, I'll drink beer, and
that's not junk food.
Yeah, it's whatever. I mean, I also really enjoy fresh fruits and vegetables. Our rider, we pull up to the venue every day, and I come into the dressing room, and we have V8 and carrot juice and fresh vegetables that are not cut. That's a stipulation we always have. They can't be cut vegetables because then you get that crappy plastic tray from.
Carrot diva in the room.
Yeah, so we just I actually manage to eat. Sometimes I eat better on tour because every day I've got a fresh supply of all the fruit and vegetables and carrot juice that I could ever want to eat. I don't know. That's because.
Okay, well, at least I'm glad to know. I'm glad to know you have some rock star qualities happening. You're disappointing me for a second.
Oh, well, we can change that. I'll have 6 or 7 more of these, and it'll be great.
Oh, cool. Okay, so get it. Start drinking. Yeah. So I know. You were talking before we went live to air about you're doing a soundtrack for a movie, and my brain went to some sort of epic, big movie, but this is actually a really cool movie. Could you share? Are you allowed to share publicly what it's about?
Sure. I can't think of any reason why not. It's a documentary film that's being shot about 4 visually impaired people who are on horseback and they're crossing the Andes mountain range in South America. So the producer and director of this film are fans of Whitehorse, and they asked us to provide the soundtrack, and which is really great for us because they haven't simply hired us as generic musicians to do what they say, although we will do some of that as well. But mostly what they've done is they've told us, hey, we like Whitehorse. Can you guys make Whitehorse music for this film? Because it's a film soundtrack, most of the music is instrumental. There are no lyrics as of yet. There are some voices. Melissa's doing some singing, and there's some of our voices, but mostly it's just guitars and piano and some percussion and stuff like that. But it's kind of a cool story for people crossing the mountain ranges who are visually impaired. Yeah, it's cool.
So when is that coming out? Do you know?
I don't know.
Oh, it's still. And what about any new Whitehorse releases, concert dates, anything like that you need to tell us about?
Sure. Well, next week is our last concert before we have our baby. My wife is pregnant, so come mid-August.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've been scouring Facebook for pictures. I've been doing when's the baby gonna show up picture.
Yeah, soon. A month, maybe 5 weeks. So London, Ontario for the Home County Festival next weekend, and then we're basically just wrapping it up until the new record is released. So we have a new album. It's not quite finished yet. Maybe it is. We're not sure. We're still working on a few things, and it will come out in February next year, and then and we'll start touring. We'll tour the U.S. in March, and we'll do Canada April and May, and then we'll be in the festival circuit again in Canada next summer. So we'll work really hard again, basically come next March.
That's a good.
Awesome.
I'm looking. If I have some free time, I might find an excuse to go to London, Ontario, for this festival. I will put it on my calendar for sure. So we want you to play a song for us. So I don't have any special requests, so you can play whatever you want because I love everything that you play.
All right. Well, I guess it only makes sense.
What do we got?
Oh, sorry.
Did you give us a what?
I was just going to say it probably only makes sense to play one of the songs inspired by running.
Yeah, let's do
That
that.
would be great.
I have 3 or 4 more songs, running songs. They're just not finished yet.
Oh.
They don't really exist yet, but I'm constantly trying to find ways to write songs about running. It's amazing how many of them end up sounding like self-help commercials.
Oh. That is funny.
It's not sexy. But this one is this is called Emerald Isle, and it's the song that I was describing earlier. I wait on the Emerald Isle for you to come and rescue me from every step I can't make. Feet, don't you ever break, drag me over that line. Halfway around the medicine ball is far enough to blow me back like you broke the bank on the ticket worth every damn nickel you got me that time, 'cause I've been on the road one day too long. Can't hear the record for another sad song. Look at all these faces, can't all be wrong. That's a lot of my heart out there. Did you fly 1,000,000 miles for every single one that I ran? I don't know which of us is crazy, though. Sweet baby, that's the madness I desire. There's a twinkle in the Clifton sky, been there forever, and lights the way for the lovers, the jackals and the runners under broken street lights. I've been on the road one day too long. Can't hear the record for another sad song. Look at all these faces, can't I'll be wrong, that's a lot of my heart out. Do we keep running through the motions, baby, knowing that one day's gonna come, maybe when you can't keep your pretty mouth from saying I wanna go home. I wait on the Emerald Isle for you to come and rescue me.
I wish we could get an ovation.
That was awesome.
Really good. Thank you. I like that a lot. That was such a pretty song.
Very soothing voice.
Yeah, you're gonna have really a good time with your baby, being able to put that baby to sleep, I'm sure.
Well, I got a running stroller. I've got a chariot that I'm going to convert to a running stroller, so I'm trying to figure out ways to keep myself running with the baby.
Okay, if you ever need babysitters, we're happy to help.
Yeah, both of us.
Yeah, we'll do that for you.
While you go for a run, you know?
So we're just going to put up a still here for you to show everybody all of your amazing where to find you. So we are Whitehorse, whitehorsemusic.ca, and also for some entertainment, I don't know if Luke likes this website or not, but I love it, LukeDoucet.com. There's a huge running commentary of his life history from the day he was born till present, pretty close to present, and I laugh my butt off every time I read it because it is actually really funny. And then if you want to see more, you can check out his Vimeo video at bit.ly.com. Luke Doucet runs, and he talks more about running and music and life on the road and all those great things. I really liked that video too. That was a great production.
Yeah, it was cool. I remember actually. Yeah, the production team who shot that are good friends, and they do good work.
Yeah, they did a really great job. So thank you so much for answering our questions and
Playing that song.
playing your
was
song
great.
and sharing some other unrelated running stories about Prince.
Just what's your next marathon plan? Anything in the works?
Yeah, I'm still sort of not 100% sure. I was working with a coach. Her name is Tanya Jones, and she trained me through 2 Philadelphia marathons and Halifax, and helped me get ready for Boston and then Indianapolis. And after Indianapolis, that 2:48 was a really tough training block, and she was kind of sort of saying, like, you're probably going to run for the rest of your life, but I don't know if you have to kill yourself every time you go out, like implying that maybe I'd hit my peak and that's okay. But I'm still feeling like maybe I've got another faster one. I'm not sure. So I'm sort of looking at maybe the Road to Hope, maybe Hamilton in November. I was going to do I really wanted to do Toronto in October, but I'm going to be up north for that weekend, so I'm going to miss that. So I'm kind of eyeballing early November in Hamilton and seeing if I can get some strong workouts in and some big mileage weeks at this point in the training block. And if I handle those things well, then maybe I'll get serious about November.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Hamilton is a PB course, so most definitely if you get a great training season in, you're probably will PB it, no problem.
Hope so.
Yeah. Okay, so
well, thank you very much.
Thank you again. We totally appreciate it, and I'll see you out on the trails, Luke. You've promised a running date with me.
Yes, absolutely.
So what have we got? We're going to do the review now.
Gear review.
Our gear review. And what are we reviewing today?
We are reviewing the Jenny Pack.
And
there should be a photo of it.
we have a great photo. This is actually funny. So the Jenny pack.
So the Jenny pack, Jenny Jurek, I hope I'm pronouncing the
Jenny
name
Jurek, yep.
Jurek properly.
Absolutely.
She brought together a group of talented runners, and together they created a line of products that were designed specifically for female athletes by female athletes, and that was kind of the main goal of that.
And also the two fangirls you see there.
Ah, right.
Me and Claire.
So I've had the opportunity to try this product out, and some of the things that I've noticed, I really enjoy the ergonomically shaped fit for female, because we are different than males.
Yeah.
We're more curvy, and men kind of have that boxy shape. Sorry, I don't want to offend anyone, but
It's kind of true.
you know.
Yeah.
So
And our torsos are smaller usually as well. So you can see this is kind of very short.
I can put it on.
Okay, you got
Is
it.
this my size?
Yeah.
Okay. So, another added feature that I really liked was it has some pockets right here. For maybe, I'm getting there. Some pockets for gels or your cell phone if you want to do some selfies, Michelle.
My favorite
easy
feature.
access for your phone, your keys, your money, your wallet, whatever that is. So you can see how it fits. It's a fit a little higher up, but it's really quite comfortable because when you're running, you don't always want some of the longer packs.
Yeah.
They're down here, and when you're running, they're shifting and they're riding up, where this, it fits perfectly, and it doesn't, it has a really nice, the strap right here, that it keeps it in its place when you're bouncing around, which I really like. Right here, do you have bottles?
But not around.
Okay.
They're
Well,
in the wash right now.
Okay. So right here it has, you can fit 2 bottles,
Yeah.
and for easy access, instead of having to have the belt-shaped ones where you're grabbing them from down here, it's right here. And if you don't want to use them, you can just cinch it down, and it makes it flat.
Put
So,
more stuff in there.
That's true. More cell phones and cameras and GoPro and all that stuff.
Yeah.
In the back, it also has some pockets.
Yeah.
And a bigger pocket where you can actually fit, I think it was a 9 ounce or something for the back, or a water bottle, or some
More
extra
stuff.
clothes or stuff, whatever you want.
Girls love pockets. We love pockets.
So another thing I really liked, that it was moisture wicking, so it dries really easily. It's got reflectors for if you're running at night.
And the best part, I'll show the picture one more time so we can remind the best parts.
Extra hair tie. Yes.
Sorry.
I'm one of those people that has very thick hair, and so one hair elastic, I can't tell you how many times I tried to put it around 3 times, and it snaps.
Yeah.
So, you know what? You're on a run, and all of a sudden your elastic snaps, then you
we've
have
got
another
an
one.
extra in the back.
So that's another thing that we really like about it. So
I love the Jenny
it's
pack.
super light. You don't even feel like you have it on.
Mhm.
Extra moisture wicking, great for, the ergonomic fit for your body.
Mhm.
And it's purple, my favorite color.
It is.
So,
Yes, it is.
There you go.
Jenny thought of everything.
She did. Jenny and the girls, right? Because it wasn't only Jenny. It was a group of girls.
Yeah,
that
it
got
was a
together,
group
right?
of girls, yeah. But she took all the credit.
So yeah. So
that's
this, again,
the
is
Jenny
what it
bag.
looks like.
And we love it, and we think you should get it. I've written a review about it on the Get Out There magazine online and on their latest issue, so you can read a little bit about it, but just go to their website. They have lots of really great reviews as well.
Yep. And this is the big pocket that we were talking about. Lots of space in there for whatever it is you need, and that doesn't interfere with the reservoir that you might want to put in.
No,
so
there's
there's
endless.
lots of pockets. So
Endless. So I guess we have a few things coming up on the plate. We're going to be learning about supboarding in a couple weeks, and I'll just put the hat on so I don't have to show you my shirt. But I made friends with Blue Wave Supboard this weekend, and we're actually going to do a demo with them on July 24th. I'm not exactly sure of all this crazy details about this demo, but here's some very vague details. It has it's with Adventure Addict. It's going to be in Hamilton, July 24th. Stay tuned. I'll keep you posted if you follow me on Twitter. we're going to be out there doing a demo, and there's actually a rumor, which I may have started, that there will be a race against Turbo from Boundless. So stay tuned. So you can race
Awesome.
Turbo and be on the Get Out There Girls TV show or YouTube. I don't even know what we're on right now. We're on TV. We're on. Tasha, what are you doing next weekend? Oh yeah, you're gonna be.
So yeah, I'm in Cascade, leaving Wednesday, coming back Sunday. So hoping to get some good footage of some of the pros because I'm there early, so I can see some pro races and maybe get some interviews and some selfies.
Yeah.
To add to the collection.
Well, now that we
collection.
have the if it didn't happen, or wait, what's it called? It didn't happen unless you Instagram it, so it's not real life. So another thing that I wanted to make an announcement about is my friend Rhonda Avery is doing, it starts today, but in 20 days from now, she's going to be doing 20 marathons across the Bruce Trail. She's visually impaired, so she can only really see in dim light, so a lot of this is going to be happening in the evenings, maybe even through the night. So she's doing it for the next 20 days leading up to this challenge for her. She's doing a 20 and 20 contest. So every single day we want you to share one of your favorite run routes or one of your favorite places to run in the world. We want hashtag it envisions, tag Rhonda at RAM Avery on Twitter, Rhonda Marie Avery on Facebook, and Batgirl78 on Instagram. Also visit her Envisions website to donate and help her reach her goal by the end of her journey. So I really hope everybody gets involved and starts to tweet and Facebook and starts sharing this information around, because she's amazing and what she's doing is absolutely incredible. I can't even fathom what it's going to be like, but I'm so proud of her.
And she was on our show.
She was on her show, and she did the North Face Challenge this weekend as well. So she won. Oh gosh, now I can't remember the distance. I'm pretty sure it was the sprint distance triathlon.
That's amazing.
On Sunday. So she raced on Saturday the marathon, and then she raced on Sunday as well. So she's
very inspiring.
She inspires me every day. So so next week I'm trying. There's a couple of guests that I'm waiting to hear back from, but they're going to be fun. And if the one I want comes on, it's going to be amazing, because I kind of work for him, and I'm trying to get him to come on the show. He lives in Vancouver, and he just did a big ride from Victoria to Calgary for cystic fibrosis. So
we got lots in store.
Yeah, so Tash will have a lot of questions and
Yep.
things, and maybe my voice will come back by then.
We're hoping.
Or maybe not. Like I said, some people have quite enjoyed the silence. I've been frustrated. So that's it, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's a wrap.
That's it for our show. So we want to thank you again for coming on our show and watching.
And listening to Luke Doucet.
Oh, yes, that really soothing voice.
Yes, and one question. Can we say it one more time, Tasha? What's your Twitter?
And Pasiga.
Yes.
With capital N, capital P.
Pasiga. Yay.
We got it, finally.
Okay, I'm at Running Chick, Running CHIC, and follow us, and we will be giving you lots of updates over the next week, telling you what's on next week. And everyone have a great week and train safely, and whatever you're doing on the weekend, just make sure it's outside.
And make sure to have fun.
And have fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Signing off. We'll see you next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern.